I think mine was a little faster. There you go. Up. I'm making light.
Oh, frolicking. Behind you, behind you. Nice. You got him?
Not bad for our first time with this thing.
Pretty cool little setup.
It's very neat.
No malfunctions?
No. Well, Barry there looked like a little tunnel rat going through the woods, didn't he? I don't know if I can match that, but I'll try. 100-yard gong, and then we got various silhouettes set up. Let's try that a little bit. Awesome. I love it. It's been running pretty good. One thing I noticed is that it does like to be kept relatively wet in terms of lubricant. We had a couple of stovepipes, a couple of failures to feed throughout the day. We probably fired about 500 rounds out of it. No real issues. Like I said, keep it wet, feed it good ammo. It runs great. I'm happy with it. All right, that was the one on the furthest end in the woods here. He was kind of hard to get a shot at. Yep, and that was pretty rapid fire. You saw how quick I was laying those down there. This is just a great little gun, and I can't say enough good things about it. Very decent accuracy. I mean, combat accuracy's definitely good. I mean, it's got a wonderful feel to it. It's got an excellent trigger. One complaint that I do have about the Sub 2000 is that the sights are very low. You have to really hunker down on it to get a good sight picture, but other than that, it's a great little gun. For the price, I think it's probably one of the best out there. You know, I know the fit and finish, some people aren't crazy about Keltec, but I really enjoy this gun.
There's our longest range silhouette with the Sub 2K from the day. That was just, you know, relatively rapid fire. Like I said, about 75 yards. Definitely not bad. I mean, the combat accuracy is definitely there if you do your part. We did get the sights regulated a little bit, so let's see if it'll hit a little bit truer for us.
Cool.
Like that all right?
Yeah, I mean, it shoots good. Once you get on the sights, I mean, they're real crude. You know, I can't say that I'm a big fan of the sights on this thing.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of how low your cheek weld has to be to get a good sight picture.
And this little pipe right here.
Yeah, but for me though, I think it makes up for it in the fact that it's so compact and it folds up so easy. I think despite those shortcomings, it's a great setup.
Well, we're gonna do a little bit of grouping with the Kel-tec Sub 2000 here, about 25 yards.
Well, real basic accuracy.
Just offhand, you know, nothing really too formal.
Not bad.
All right, you can see there that after Chad got on the sights, he slung them in there to a real respectable group. Same thing for me. I pulled a few low. I think those were my fault. But all in all, I mean, it definitely slings them right in there. It's accurate enough for what it needs to do.
You missed one. See, he came out with a knife and he got you. Let me show you. Look over here.
Oh, I see him.
Mm-hmm.
I see him now, boy.
Yeah.
That's why you carry a handgun with you.
All right, so there was Barry just grouping slow offhand on the cranium there. It puts them right in there.
That's good enough. That's pretty good shooting for a pilgrim, boy.
Good God Almighty.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we got another little gun we're going to be talking about, and we got the Kel-tec Sub 2000. And this is a gun that I've really been wanting to get my hands on for quite a while now. As many of you know, it's a straight blowback, semi-automatic, 9mm, and it has a pretty unique feature in that it folds in half. This gun was conceived during the Clinton ban, and of course, you know, there's all these just random crazy laws coming down the pipeline during the Clinton ban, and one of the ways that Keltec got around that was to say, okay, we're just going to make a gun that folds in half, and since it doesn't function folded in half, we can make it as short as we want. So that was pretty brilliant of Keltec to see that need in the industry and meet it. It is in its folded state right now. To deploy it, all you do is pull this little plunger down, unfold it,
the bolt can stay locked back. You insert your magazine, slap the op rod, and it's ready to shoot. The way that I like to leave this gun stored is with the safety off, okay, the bolt back, and the gun folded in half. To fold the gun up, the trigger guard is hinged. It's got these two little knurled edges here. You just push down with your index and it unfolds. Alright, one of the nice things about the folding, of course, is nice and compact. This gun will fit in a laptop bag, briefcase, pizza box, really in just about anywhere you can hide it. It'll stay there, okay? Also, the folding feature is nice because it's really easy to clean. You see that all the guts are pretty much exposed. You can at least keep the bore scrubbed out, the chamber clean. So if you have to go with prolonged times without being able to clean it, then that allows you to keep it clean. Now, one thing I want to show you about the barrel here, you see the feed ramp that's cut into the chamber area? This is the older style of feed ramp. The newer Keltecs have a beveled feed ramp that goes all the way around the contour of the whole barrel. I imagine what they did there, the reason they did it, is so that when they installed and headspace the barrels, it saves them time from having to actually cut a feed ramp. That way, no matter what position it clocks into headspace, they'll have that continuous bevel throughout the end of the chamber. This is the older version, but it shoots fine. That's one way to tell, you know, this is an earlier gun. They do make these guns to accept different styles of magazines. This particular one, of course, takes a Glock magazine. They make this gun in a 40 caliber and a 9mm. I would really love to see a 10mm version of this gun make it out, but I don't think it ever will because it's a blowback, and that's an awful lot of power to have in a blowback. I like the Glock version, but they do make this gun to take Beretta M9 magazines, and they also make a model that takes Smith & Wesson Model 59 magazines. That's the only 3 variants there are. Very slick setup. There's a lot of aftermarket accessories for this gun that you can get. As stated in the video, we're not a real big fan of the sights, just because, you know, they are rather low. You have to have a pretty low purchase on the stock to get a sight picture. Front sight post is adjustable for windage and elevation, although it's not easy. Definitely not easy to adjust, but it is functional. The sights are probably the only weak point of the whole weapon, in my opinion. But as long as you can get past the basic sights, they do make rail systems for this gun that you can add a red dot, anything you want there, if you want a little bit better sighting option. But in my opinion, the gun kind of loses its charm when you do that, because then you can't fold it in half. So you're kind of stuck having to decide, do you want the compact size or do you want the added benefit of a red dot or a low power scope? For the gun's price, they're definitely a must-have. In your bug-out bag, backpack, you really can't go wrong with them. Keltec's been making them for a pretty good little while. They've gotten all the kinks worked out. They're an excellent gun for the money if you can get your hands on one. Unfortunately, Keltec's been behind on all of their products. These things right now, at the time of this printing, definitely tough to get them. They're not really around, unfortunately. But hopefully by Christmas, Keltec will catch up and we can see more of these things out there and in the hands of people where they need to be. Keltec did produce an early version of this gun. A lot of people don't know, but they used to make a gun they called the Sub 9. And it was basically this same exact design, except it was all billet aluminum. They don't make that gun anymore because, of course, they decided to go with a lot of the polymer sections for the gun to, one, reduce the weight of the gun, and two, lower the cost to actually manufacture the gun. If you can find an original Sub 9, they are robust guns, they're well made, but expect them to be a lot heavier and a lot more expensive. This gun is very light, weighs in at around 3.5 pounds. One thing that I want to note, and it doesn't quite seem to be a problem with this particular gun, but sometimes the Korean Con magazines in the 33 round configuration, they don't want to lock up into the gun properly, but we see that Chad's Korean magazines, they do. Of course, a standard Glock magazine locks up perfect, no issues. You saw we were running the gun earlier. As far as reliability, they do prefer to
be pretty wet in terms of lubrication. They really need to be squirted with a ton of oil in them to keep them running good as they get dirty. But other than that, they do fine. I haven't had a lot of chances to run the Korean mags out of them. All I've been running is the Glock factory magazines. I would say it's a great gun, cost effective. This is definitely one of those things that for the money, everybody should have one. One observation that Chad made earlier about this gun is that the way that these halves, these polymer halves are put together, you've got these screws right here, but in the front, see how it kind of moves a little bit? These Korean mags, one thing we've noticed is that the polymer is almost kind of overmolded. They're a little bit fatter in other guns, but you see that the cons drop right in. Now you see that it doesn't really open up, but one theory that we have for that is that, or at least as a side effect, is that that helps accommodate different types of magazines.